Kate Middleton's mother grew up in a house packed with 13 people, descended from men who went underground in coal mines owned by the ancestors of the Queen Mother herself. That is not just marrying up. Her story rewrites what you think you know about royalty, class, and fate. Because in this journey, the workers didn't just meet the owners, they became family. But how did a coal miner's daughter end up raising a future queen? The answers are buried deeper than you think. John Harrison's name appears on the 1921 census as a below-ground deputy miner living at 7 Barrington Terrace in Hetton-le-Hole. 13 people crowded into just 5 rooms, each day shaped by the rhythm of the pit. Coal dust seeped into every corner of the house, and the air carried the weight of exhaustion. The Harrison family, like so many in County Durham, depended on the Lambton and Hetton colliery for survival. Children shared beds, and meals stretched to feed everyone. The census records capture the reality: 3 generations under one roof, each tied to the mines by necessity, not choice. Across the region, estate lease maps show vast tracts controlled by powerful landowners, their names written in ink, while the miners' lives were measured in shifts. For families like the Harrisons, the gulf between those who owned the land and those who worked it was measured in both distance and opportunity. Underground, John Harrison's daily risks brought little reward, but above ground, every cramped room told the story of endurance. In the darkness beneath Eppleton Colliery, danger was constant. Explosions, gas pockets, and falling rock haunted every shift. The Harrison family, like so many others, knew that the mines could take everything. Records from the era show that miners faced suffocating air, sudden blasts, and the ever-present threat of collapse. Health was fragile. Tuberculosis swept through crowded terraces, made worse by the coal dust that clung to skin and lungs. A single accident could leave families without a breadwinner, forcing children to grow up fast. Death notices in the mining registers list names and ages, each entry a reminder of the price paid for a day's wage. For the Harrisons, every trip underground carried risk, not just for themselves, but for everyone waiting at home. The loss of a father, brother, or son was a story told in too many houses along Barrington Terrace. Still, the family endured, holding on to each other through grief and hardship, determined not to let the mines claim every dream. Thomas Harrison was born in Hetton-le-Hole in 1904, surrounded by the world of coal and the hard lessons of pit life. He watched his father and uncles disappear down the shaft each morning, their faces streaked with dust, their bodies worn by years underground. But Thomas saw a different future for himself. Instead of following them into the mines, he apprenticed as a carpenter, learning a trade that kept him above ground and out of danger. By the 1930s, Thomas made a bold move. He left Durham behind and took his young family to Southall on the western edge of London. The 1939 register lists him as an aircraft fitter, working in a growing industry that promised steady pay and cleaner air. That single decision, trading the darkness of the pit for the promise of skilled work, set a new course for his children and grandchildren. For the first time in generations, the Harrisons could imagine a life shaped by choice, not just survival. Carol Goldsmith was born in 1955, the daughter of Dorothy Andway and Ronald, in a London suburb far from the coal fields her grandfather had left behind. Her childhood was shaped by her parents' steady but modest work, Ronald as a builder, Dorothy in a jewelry shop. Carol excelled at school and dreamed of becoming a teacher, but the cost of college tuition was out of reach. Instead, she joined the workforce straight after finishing her studies, taking a job as a secretary at British Airways in 1972. Within 3 years, she was promoted to flight attendant. The world of travel opened up new horizons, even as the old barriers of class and opportunity remained. Every step Carol took was a testament to her determination to keep moving forward, building on the sacrifices of those who came before her. While Carol's family faced the realities of working-class life, Michael Middleton's roots tell a different story. His paternal grandmother, Olive Lupton, grew up at Potter Newton Hall, a grand estate on the edge of Leeds. The Lupton family name appears in the Land Registry and the Leeds Gazette, tied to wealth, politics, and privilege. Olive's father, Francis Martineau Lupton, served as both a justice of the peace and a Liberal member of Parliament. The Luptons moved in circles where invitations to royal events were routine, and in 1911, family records show they attended the coronation of King George V. The contrast could not be sharper. While one side of the family crowded into 5 rooms in a mining village, the other hosted gatherings in manor houses. These two worlds, separated by class, education, and opportunity, would eventually meet, setting the stage for a union that few could have predicted. During the Second World War, Valerie Glassborough was recruited to Bletchley Park, Britain's top-secret code-breaking center. She worked in Hut 16, part of the Newmanry section, where teams spent long hours deciphering encrypted enemy messages that shaped the course of the war. Valerie's twin sister Mary served alongside her, both bound by the Official Secrets Act and a duty to remain silent, even with family. Personnel files confirm Valerie's assignment as a junior decoder, contributing to the efforts that would later be credited with shortening the conflict by years. After the war, Valerie married Peter Middleton, an RAF pilot, in 1946. For decades, she kept her wartime role hidden, never seeking recognition. Her quiet service added a layer of resilience and sacrifice to the Middleton family story, a reminder that courage sometimes works in silence, far from the public eye. British Airways in the late 1970s was a crossroads for ambition and possibility. Carol Goldsmith, now a flight attendant, crossed paths with Michael Middleton, a flight dispatcher whose family background was worlds apart from her own. Their first meeting, recorded in a 1978 company newsletter, was unremarkable on paper, a crew briefing, a shift overlap, but it set 2 family histories on a new course. 2 years later, in 1980, Carol and Michael married. The wedding joined not just 2 people, but 2 stories, one of working-class grit, the other of established privilege. In 1987, Carol launched Party Pieces from their kitchen table, building it into a thriving mail-order business. Company's house records show the company's steady growth over decades, a testament to determination and resourcefulness. The coal miner's granddaughter and the Yorkshire heir had become partners in life and in enterprise, turning everyday challenges into opportunity. Genealogists pored over records as the royal wedding approached, searching for historical parallels. Patrick Craycroft Brennan, a respected expert in royal lineage, described Catherine Middleton's marriage as a turning point. He said it was the first time in British history that someone in direct line to the throne has married someone who was not either a foreign princess or from a British aristocratic or titled family. Newspapers seized on the phrase pit to palace, capturing the leap from coal dust to coronets in just 3 generations. For centuries, the monarchy had drawn its spouses from a narrow circle of nobility. Now, the descendant of miners and shopkeepers would become queen consort. The story was not about lost titles or ancient bloodlines, but about the improbable journey connecting working-class terraces to the heart of the royal family. In that moment, the distance between the mines of Durham and the grandeur of Westminster Abbey seemed to vanish. Stories swirled in the press before the wedding, claims that Catherine Middleton's family tree stretched all the way back to Henry VIII through Mary Boleyn. Genealogist William Reitwiesner reviewed every record and dismissed the legend. The crucial link, a William Davenport born in 1679, could not be proven. There was no solid evidence tying Catherine to Tudor royalty, but the milestone that mattered came on April 29, 2011. Catherine Middleton, great-granddaughter of Durham miners, walked down the aisle at Westminster Abbey. The register for that day records a union that rewrote royal tradition. For the first time, a future queen's roots could be traced to crowded mining terraces, not palaces. Fact triumphed over myth, and a new chapter began for the British monarchy. Today, the future queen's ancestry proves that social class in Britain is not destiny. Genealogy is not just history. It is a reminder that every lineage holds unexpected turns. Royalty now bears the legacy of miners, builders, and codebreakers. That crown carries more than tradition. It carries possibility. Thanks for watching.